As a parent, what worries me most is for Rebecca not being able to access GP services and not knowing what's out there and what's available to her. She had a health check with an advanced nurse practitioner. It lasted over an hour long. It was not rushed. They went through her height, her weight, her blood pressure check, oximetry checks, and they did a urine sample. They felt all around her abdomen, and they did actually signpost us to the dietitian's office. It also covered mental health and well-being, and it gave Rebecca the time to talk to a health professional who then could access further signposting for us if need be. They spoke to Rebecca, not at her. I was included in on that, and we were offered at the end of it whether to go back in a year's time. Early checks, I believe, will pick up any ailments before she gets symptoms, and then, she can then access those services. The advanced nurse practitioner was dressed in bright pink. She didn't have a stethoscope. She didn't come at her like perhaps some GPs did. She spoke calmly. It was quiet in there. When Rebecca asked other questions, they had time to answer, and she was given time to think of questions for herself, for her own mental health and well-being. When they're under paediatrics, I found personally that you were followed up by a community paediatrician. You obviously went to health checks as a child. When you then reach an adolescent and they're supposed to take control of themselves, it's for them to be able to recognise when the need is to go to access a GP surgery. Rebecca wouldn't be able to ring up and say, make her own appointments. That would come down to me, perhaps guiding her for that and making the appointment myself. To have a bespoke clinic session where she can go along and they literally covered everything. It gets her used to going back into clinical situations and surroundings whereby you don't have to be quiet, you don't have to wait until you're spoken to, you don't have to just tip up at a GP surgery because you're unwell. Most people, like you and I, would only go to a GP once you've recognised you have a symptom or you need to make contact. Rebecca and other people who have learning difficulties or disabilities won't always recognise those signs or symptoms. So if by having a urine dipstick, having some regular bloods, even having blood pressure and minor checks done in a relaxed atmosphere, if that can just pick up one ailment for somebody, then they're accessing what we all take for granted. As a parent, I think when Rebecca matures even more, which I'm hoping she will do, it's for her to take responsibility of herself. In the general trend, I'm not going to be around forever to make those choices for Rebecca, and I would like to think that there is things that she can access that can point her in the right direction to help her make the right choices, to stay fit and healthy. And she may not tell me everything, but she might a medical practitioner. Everybody has mental health and well-being issues from time to time, but we know what we can do, we know what's out there, and even we can access the GP surgery and get signposted on. It's getting Rebecca to recognise when things aren't going quite right and to speak up and to have a voice of her own and to try and take care of herself.